I'm Pat.
And this is the Need to Know. So guys, today we're back and we're talking about eye contact. So we're gonna actually stay with eye flirting for men and for women. So I'm gonna hit y'all with the scenarios and we're gonna see if it's true or not. So this book I've been reading is called The Power of Eye Contact. Your girl can see, so facts. Your secret for success in business, love, and life. So by the time this shit come out, trust and believe, like I'll be done with this book, but I'm in the middle of the book right now. I liked this book so far, the 5 chapters that I've read, because a lot of this stuff, like every day we work on eye contact, but it's like, do we actually do this? Like, do I actually look at you for 5 seconds and then look away and look back at you? Like, do I actually speak to you and can actually talk to you with maintaining eye contact? And do I, you can naturally look away, look back, like that's natural, but you don't have to, do we do that? Like, or do we look away? Do we look here? Do we look there? How do we communicate and how important it is to communicate? So this book is really interesting, so I definitely do recommend this book. These type of books always give you extra books inside. So if you do wanna read, if you read a chapter and the person that they're interviewing or they're speaking about, like they give you that book. So that's also a good thing. So your reading list goes up. And if you like self-help books too, you gotta read the nonfiction, man. You gotta get into the nonfiction. You gotta get into it. So we're gonna do scenarios, like I said. So this part, well, chapter 4 is eye flirting and only for men. Like it says only for men. So the chapter before is only for women and it's eye contact. So I'm gonna give you scenarios and you're basically gonna tell me if you do it or you don't and what you would do in that scenario. We wanted to be attractive naturally by developing the aspects of ourselves that women have always found attractive. Our own inner confidence, graceful and calm body language, charm, and our own sense of playful flirtation. The author of this book is male, so this is a man talking about this. So basically throughout a little bit of backstory, he goes throughout explaining his personal journey through eye contact, as well as the people he interviewed during this time he wrote the book. So a lot of these people are, psychologists and other authors and people who research, teachers, like all these people really wrote stuff about eye contact in terms of business. And he also he interviews sex workers, he interviews, business people who have companies, it's a whole variety of people. So eye contact is important in all of these aspects, but we're always flirting regardless of what it is. So I feel like in this particular part, what do you think he's trying to say?
First of all, we're gonna backtrack. We're gonna backtrack to we're always flirting, because I don't think that's necessarily always the case. When you're at work, it's good to make eye contact, right? Yes. When you're talking to somebody or when you're having a face-to-face conversation, but it's not always flirting. I mean, it could lead there.
I feel like they simplify it as flirting because they want you to. I'm trying to make you absorb me. I want you to come to me. So I'm leading you on basically. I feel like that's the term of flirtation they kind of mean. That's my observation. But I feel like that's I want you to come to me. So if I'm flirting with you, I want you to come towards me. I'm trying to get you here. So I feel like they're correlating flirting and the eye contact with that.
Okay.
Do you agree or you disagree?
No, I definitely agree. Because that's the start of everything, basically. With eye contact and bringing you, what you were basically saying, bringing you towards me. I'm trying to, it's the start of everything, basically.
Something that is also said here is that when you're a salesperson, once you make eye contact, it's clip, I got you. You gotta talk to me, you gotta say hi, you gotta say something.
Definitely.
The same thing, that's how I get you. Mm-hmm. So I'm flirting with you, but just not in that way. Once they look at you, they got you. It's clip. You gotta at least say how you doing.
You gotta look down and all that. You're no, come here.
You at least gotta say how you doing. I'm good. How you doing? Bye. See you later. You gotta say something. So I got you.
I didn't realize that, honestly.
Yo, I'm telling. This book is. You be like, wow, that has happened. That. This book is that book. This book is that book. They learn to project better than they learn to receive. So he's talking about men here. He's talking about how. And we were just talking about this. I said, women want you to learn what they're saying with their body language before they say it. But men are better at you verbally explaining something rather than like them trying to figure it out.
Because I don't want to get the wrong.
Right.
You don't want to get the wrong vibe. Like.
But it's like, you still have to learn me, because eventually if we're actually going to pursue each other, like eventually you learn me. So you're going to learn when like I slouch that I'm probably thinking, or I'm upset, or I'm uncomfortable, like, or if I'm standing up straight, I'm trying to adjust myself, or this or that, or if I give this particular look, or I look at you with a gaze, like this means something. Like you're going to eventually learn that.
Yeah, with time that it definitely gets better, but
women don't think that. Women think that I'm giving you this, you should know that. But a woman would be able to portray that on another woman rather than a man trying to portray that on a woman.
But just like you said, if the roles are flipped, the man will give you what you want. You hear what, or they'll say what you want. Do you get what I'm saying? Like.
Right, so men have this, I'm gonna say expectation. Like they have this expectation that women want the same thing. You lead with the same thing, but in actuality, you won't know until you learn them. But if I'm giving you something.
But it starts with talking, right?
Right, if I'm talking to you, but now I want you to read my face as well as I'm reading the situation. Like for example, somebody gave me this example where he walked his friend to the car and he was dating somebody else, and the girl came upstairs and was like, oh yeah, talking? Like I thought she was walking to your car. She felt some type of way because she seen that there was a connection. Like the girl looked a certain way at him, but only the girl realized that she had this attraction for him.
Oh, okay.
So you understand, like girls read each other's body language, but men don't see that. So if I'm flirting with you, you wouldn't know that sometimes, because so you probably would take it the wrong way, and sometimes you wouldn't. But that's the body language I'm giving you.
So I guess we're just retarded. we just not at that level.
Yo.
Because you realize that the girl picked up on the
Right.
other girl and her man, but the man never picked up on it.
Right, he thought that they was having a conversation.
But in that moment, wasn't that a good thing?
But that's what it was. Like, but she didn't pursue him because that's not what it was. She knew.
But he didn't know.
Right, but she knew that he had a girlfriend and she was there and they was friends. Like they just was friends. He didn't know that in some capacity she cared more than a friend. But it wasn't verbalized, because men need verbalization to actually understand something. So if a girl's giving you eye contact and flirting with you, sometimes you wouldn't understand that. Or would you understand that?
It depends. I think there's certain times where like you see it. Like if you chilling and like a girl looking at you and she look up and down and like bite her lip or something, it's like you already know, like, okay, she want me.
There's certain instances, but
yeah, like,
to just off the bat, like it takes time to learn those things.
Yeah.
And this goes to something that like somebody else told me. They was like, women have the capacity to understand something better than a man would at a certain age.
Oh hell.
Nah, I was just telling him this too, like, so.
I'm trying to play that card.
No, like, cause no funny, like I'm gonna use this example. I'm gonna say 2 relationships ago, the mental capacity that he had to understand me was there. Like we understood each other, but his mental capacity to actually be emotionally involved with me was not there at the age that he was, and he's older than me.
Which was his choice.
No, that was just his mental capacity is not there. Like he doesn't know how to be there for you emotionally. Like that's not his mental capacity. So he probably won't get that mental capacity until he's older, probably in his 30s, his 40s, his 50s. Anytime in a couple of years, he might get that mental capacity.
Besides that, y'all were on the same page.
In terms of, yes, in terms of comfortability, in terms of support, in terms of, sex. But if you're not emotionally involved with me, if you can't emotionally be there for me and understand that this upsets me, and you don't know how to maneuver around it, your mental capacity for us to be together won't ever work.
Yeah. Yeah. Because.
And mind you, like, and he's older than me. Like, this is somebody that's older than me. So I understand to be his mental capacity that, okay, I know when you're upset. Like, he would know when I'm upset, but wouldn't know why that's making me upset. He would understand, but he wouldn't know, like, okay, well, this is the situation. How do I say something that won't offend you as well? Does that make sense?
Okay.
So I'm just gonna say how I feel the situation is, but I'm not gonna say coddle, but I'm not gonna put it in a way that is gonna be to your mental capacity. So emotionally intelligent for you.
Nah, I'm not stuck. I'm thinking because him not All right, so if he knows already that what you're going through,
right,
and you're saying that he's not there mentally to support you, so he's not saying what you want him to say.
No, so
he's not. Okay, go ahead.
Emotionally, we were lacking in terms of, I want to be a part of your life in terms of your emotional well-being.
Okay.
So if you can't bring me into your life that way, we're never gonna grow. Like, you need that emotional bond to grow. Like, you need that level of intimacy to be like, okay, well, we're gonna take it to the next step. I could be comfortable around you and tell you my whole business. Like, that has nothing to do with anything. Like, I could be able to cry in front of you, tell you when I'm mad, all of that, but you don't have that same respect for me.
But that's a choice. That's not.
You said that's a choice? No, it's not. Like, you really, like, I had, for example, then there's another ex, like, he didn't know me at all, like, nothing, like, until we stopped talking to each other, stopped fucking with each other. Now, at how old he is now, and I'm younger than him, he deadass understands. Like, he's like, oh wow, like, I had to understand that. I had to grow up. I had to realize that this was not like good.
Okay.
But for me.
Yeah.
So he had to gain that mental capacity. Men are big on actions. So even if I look at you in the face, like, I don't know what you mean. Like, I don't know. But I'm a girl, so I'm gonna read you. Like, I'm naturally gonna read your body language. So I'm gonna know that you wanna have sex with me. I already know based on something that you said, like, I'm gonna know that. Because I'm observing you. I'm being observant. I'm watching you. I'm using my eyes.
Not body language. You're going off of what we're saying because we're verbal.
And your body language, like, if you start touching on me, if I start touching up on your leg, like, or you start touching on my leg, I'm gonna feel like that means something. Like, I'm gonna take that as something. Like,
I feel like it also has something to do with how we're grown. Because on the male side, because for real, on the male side, it's like when we want something, we're told, speak up. Like, you want something, you gotta talk up and you'll get
your dominance.
Females, on the other hand, it's more like, no, it's okay, it's just like, y'all could kick y'all leg and your father be like, oh, you want this. Like, you feel me? You don't have to be verbal. The way you act, you get stuff based off of how you act. You get what I'm saying? In a sense?
I do.
I feel like that's something people don't realize, and it just, over time, it gets there. Like, so y'all don't really have y'all don't have to speak up about what y'all want. You could, I don't know. I'm just brainstorming right now, right about now.
The jaw muscle is the most important psychological significant muscle in the human body. It's also the strongest. The jaw is basically the gateway to intimate space. So basically he's saying that your eyes and your mouth, your whole face is something that makes it known that there's some type of connection. That's how I took it. So it's like, it's telling you that you should smile. That's like, it tells you, that's why they explain, when you see somebody in the street and you look at them, smile at them. And then look away. They might give you the same smile back, they might not, but don't be a creep, because if you just constantly watch them, that's creepy. Like, why am I watching you?
We're in New York too.
This book takes place in New York. Like, listen, he talks about Brooklyn, he talks about everything, but this is not this time period. This is probably like a couple of years ago, like 2010, 2008, like, this book took place in that time period. All muscles on your face affect your emotional state more than all the other muscles in your body combined.
Yeah, that makes sense. That's why that's your reaction.
The face has always been the communication center of the body. That's how people, like, animals communicate with each other. Like, they look at your facial expression. Like, so, and we're related to animals. Like, we're mammals, so we do the same thing. We look at how you look at me. Like, so if you look at me mad funny, like, I'm gonna be like, what happened? Like, why are you looking at me?
But what is funny now?
I don't know. Whatever makes me feel uncomfortable. Like, if that's...
Okay, so what if me smiling at you makes you feel uncomfortable?
I'm just gonna walk away. Like...
But you expect that?
No, no, I don't expect that. It's just like, it's either I smile at you or I don't. Like, it's either I feel like you, like, if I see you in the street and I'm like looking at you, I think you look nice and I just happen to smile, I smile. If I don't, I don't. If you look at me, you like how I look, then you're gonna tap my shoulder. You're gonna be like, hey, how you doing? Like, you're gonna stop me. Not all the time I feel like you have to smile. It's just, this is this example, but I feel like you can just look at somebody and see the glare and just, oh, how you doing? Like,
you just know.
Yeah, you just know, like.
Off the glare.
Off the glare, like your eyes are sparkling and shit. I don't know, like.
Listen.
Okay, let's go more. Remember, you have 2 jobs: to feel out her boundaries and respect them, and also to increase connection if you sense that where she wants if you sense that's where she wants the interaction to go.
So this is past eye contact now.
This is with eye contact. This is right after it. Like, this is right after it.
Way past eye contact.
No, it's not. Okay, I'm gonna read the whole thing then. 2 people's eyes will meet, and then you instinctively look away for a second, and then you instinctively look back. This little interaction of meeting eyes with someone else and then looking away probably happens a lot more than you're aware of it. It happens all the time. The reason is simple: you're strangers. There's no context for you to be having any eye contact. So there's a strange tension. But once this tension is gone, if the 2 people are interested in each other, they'll look back again.
At that point, if you look away from the woman a second time, you've basically given up the interaction. Remember, you have 2 jobs: to fill out her boundaries and respect them, and also to increase connection if you sense that's where she wants the interaction to go. So you explained to me how that goes, because...
But that's a guy talking.
Kind of tough though.
Yeah, like...
It's like, how would I even know your boundaries just by looking at you?
If I come to you...
I guess, but then you just said, by you looking, you would want the male to come to you.
Yeah, but if I'm confident enough, I'm going to go to you.
Yeah, but most girls...
But from eye contact.
Most girls are not like confident enough to like come to the male to say like, oh, I'm interested. So more times than not, it's us going up there, but then it's like that.
If we say the wrong thing,
yeah.
Like, I understand what you're saying with the eye contact, but
all you have to say is, hey, how you doing?
Hey, how you doing?
But then it's like that eye contact could be misguided. Like
Exactly.
say you on a train or something, but like you standing next to the door, but like she looking
Hey,
at
how
the
you
door the
doing?
whole
It's eye
time.
contact.
Hey, how you doing?
That's it.
What are you gonna say? Hey, how you doing? Or no, I'm not interested. Like, but it's the approach that you give.
Okay.
It's all about how you approach something as well.
Nah, New York's different though.
So
Yo,
where the boundaries? Where the boundaries that the author is talking about?
So for women, it's her body language. So you have to, like men, you would have to be aware of the woman's body language.
Don't come crazy.
How they're talking.
So
to
the
you,
body
their tone
language
of
is what I'm getting from is what I'm using to approach you.
See, but that's the thing, because it's like I get what the book is saying, but at the same time, it's almost like they're expecting guys to understand body language, even though body language to us is not so obvious.
Right.
It's like we react more in action than observance. So it's like if I can't observe, how do you expect me to understand the observance? Like I don't get the observance, so it's always gonna fluster. Nah, I mean
With the eye contact, right? We're learning how to observe. So right now we wear masks, right? I have to look at your eyeballs. I can't. What am I supposed to do?
Exactly.
So now I have to learn your body language. Like I'm reading your eyes, but now I have to read your body language. Like, oh, are you slouching? Are you uncomfortable? Are you up? Like, you know, do you tend to, you know, fidget a lot? Like things like that. Like what makes you uncomfortable? What makes you get engaged? Because if I'm
And this is just from y'all sitting across from each other and just looking at each other in the eye.
yeah, or you're sitting next to me. If I'm engaged, I'm gonna lean in. Like, you know, I'm gonna come forward. Like, that's me engaging. So if I'm sitting back, I'm also engaging, but for you, that might not mean that. For you, that might mean I'm uncomfortable or I don't know, like, what to do. You read things differently, but once you continuously see it and make that eye contact, that's the extraness that you're looking for.
But now, all right, one more thing. I'm sorry, hold on. You see how you said after continuously knowing or seeing that person do that, when it's 2 strangers on opposite sides of on the train seats, you can't pick up that fast.
Hey, how you doing? I seen that you texting on the phone. What you doing? Like, where you going? You going home?
you gonna get slapped, bro. Like,
No, I see. Now you my
texting. Who you
business.
texting? Like,
You in my business.
Not like that, but not like that.
okay, I see what you mean. Like, is she?
But just engage. So
But engage.
part of this right now with eye contact is the engagement after, is how you approach it. So the eye contact is like literally a quick It's just the start.
It's like you look, she's
knowing how to approach it is what's really going on right now.
You gotta think of something that's gonna catch your attention.
I have people sit across from me and be like, hey, how you doing? Where you going? You going home? I would engage. But do I want to continue the conversation? No.
At the time, there's no eye contact.
Yes, it is. Like, if I look at you, okay, this is what it is. Like, if I'm saying I'm reading, right? I'm gonna say I'm reading. I'm gonna eventually look up. If I catch your eye, we're gonna look. I'm gonna look back down. I might smile, I might not. I might look back down to read. I might look up again. You might be looking at me. I'm looking at you. But that signals that you're interested in me. So I'm gonna think in my head, okay, he's gonna eventually talk to me. He's eventually gonna say something.
Or you gotta give him.
Or if I continue to look and I smile,
then that's the incentive.
Then that's right.
So
that's
okay. Yeah, definitely.
And that's in New York. And that's in New York. We're on the train. Like, that's in New York. Now we're going to the woman's side now. You're gonna tell me if this is what you understand. As soon as you smile at someone or look into their eyes, you are saying yes to an interaction. You're not saying yes to sex, but unless you know how to maneuver between all of the different possible outcomes of the conversation, all you're worried about is avoiding the sex one. If you don't have the skills, your body language will say no to everything up front.
So basically what she's saying is that off that eye contact, you're engaging. You're
engaging.
If it's successful on your end, it's a sexual feeling. And if it's not, then it's nothing.
Men naturally want to mate. That's their natural instinct, to mate.
Okay.
On their mind, to have sex. There's nothing wrong, right? It's just men naturally do that. Like, they want to do that. They have the ability. They just
want to have a conversation. They want to meet a new friend.
Yes, but that's not the society we live in. Like, sex is not something where it can just happen. You go to other countries, you can literally meet somebody and go to have sex. That's normal. Here, that's not normalized. Women now, they're like, okay, this person, I'm going out, I look good, da da da. Are you only approaching me because I look good, or do you want to have a conversation? Like, those are two things on their mind. Unless you're just like, let's talk and see where it goes.
But on a woman's perspective, right?
On a woman's perspective, it says this: the root of all women's bitchiness towards men in a social setting is actually shyness. Most women just don't have the savvy to extricate themselves somewhere down the line where they are open to conversation with a man. If you don't know how to get out of a conversation, you'll be afraid into getting into one. Some people don't know how to say, have a good day. Like, I'm good, have a good day. It was nice talking to you, have a good day.
That's definitely a fact. Not just females, too.
American men, too. Men don't take rejection well. Neither do women. But men have an ego. Men have pride. Like, that's what it is.
Just like women have pride.
But their pride and their ego is not as high as a man.
Yeah, but you would expect it's the same.
If I get rejected, I get rejected. Like, okay.
But as you said, you're not gonna make the first move.
I can. I have the confidence to make the first move.
That's you. You one out of 30. Like, hold on, we talk about everybody here. Most women are not gonna take the initiative. You wait on the men.
I agree.
Part of that same pride, but
okay, so then I can do the same thing. Like, if I go to you, I have ego. I have a pride that I'm gonna get you. My confidence is that I can at least get you to have a conversation with me. That's the difference with men. Men have the pride in their ego because they're trying to get you in the bag.
Yo, but it doesn't. Why are we thinking like that?
Because that's the natural way that women think. Like, that's the natural way that women think men are trying to come onto them.
You read this part, right?
I read this part. Yes, this was the
As soon as you smile at someone or look into their eyes, you are saying yes to an interaction. You're not saying yes to sex. But unless you know how to maneuver between all the different possible outcomes of the conversation, all you're worried about is avoiding the sex one. If you don't have the skills, your body language will say no to everything up front.
We'll let you guys sit on that one.
Yeah.
And you come back to us. If your intentions, this is the last one. If your intentions in the interaction is to say with your body language, it's wonderful to be talking to you, but I'm unavailable sexually, they will pick up on that. If instead you stand in an energy of I'm afraid, how do I get out of him wanting to have sex with me, you will communicate a nervous, even bitchy energy that leaves a man confused.
And this is what I don't agree with, right? On the male's perspective, it was about approaching a woman and eye contact and how to talk. But on the female, yeah, on the female aspect now, it's if you don't have no sexual feeling towards that person, that's basically what I just heard from that. If they don't have no sexual tension looking at that person, then it's a no. If she doesn't see the sex or
no,
what did she say exactly?
No, she was saying
how to get out of saying no to the sex. Who said we came here for sex? I just came here to talk, make a new friend, and you thinking far ahead. So now you're trying to get out of the conversation because you think naturally that I want to fuck.
Exactly.
No.
But she's gonna give you that energy that okay, it's to avoid. In this part, it's to avoid being rude to say that they're not looking to have sex.
That's unfair.
It's unfair, but she's only saying that in her body language. She's trying to communicate that through her body language that I'm available or I'm unavailable. So if I'm giving you an energy of nervousness, then I'm uncomfortable continuing this conversation. If I stand up tall and I talk to you with confidence, you'll know that it's either I will or I won't. But if I'm nervous, you're confused because do I continue to talk to her or do I stop? Like, what do I do? Yo, I'm busting his head like.
You busting mine too, because
but at the same time, it's like I feel like I guess in today's age, because I'm pretty sure that book was written on.
I got you. I'm gonna take it right now.
I feel like in today's age, like men. I feel like in today's age, men, like
2010.
I was like 10, 11.
yeah, but it took them like 10 years to write the book, so we gonna say
Like 2000.
Yeah.
But I feel like in today's age, it's like men like we like sex, but I think we also understand that it's not just gonna happen just by like making eye contact with you. So it's like I'm not saying most guys like come and talk to you because we eventually want to get you in the bed. Like sometimes we really just want like to make a new friend or something. But at the same time, we don't go in the first interaction expecting like, okay, I'm gonna have sex with you tonight. Like it's gonna take time to like build that over time. Like you have to grow.
But it's crazy how that's where the head is at already.
But it's like you already think from the moment I'm talking to you, like you want sex, like nah, I want to talk to you, build with you, like grow a connection, maybe a friendship, and then eventually, like if it gets to that point, it gets to that point. But if not, like.
But females are basing that first interaction on.
Oh, he want
what I want to have sex with him or not. Or
when you see a woman in a club, what do you want to do with them?
Then we in a club though. Come on, son. Let's stick to the wheel of the train.
No, now we on the train.
Hold on. Let's stick to wheel of the train. Y'all are basing that first interaction based off of, okay, am I gonna talk to him and make a friend? If I can look at him and not want to fuck him. Did I say that wrong? I think I might have said hold on. You feel me? But like, I don't know.
We're gonna let you guys sit with this because clearly we busting each other's heads over here. We busting each other's heads over here. But yes, make sure you read this book. It's great. By the time this comes out, my article will be ready. So I'm doing an article on this book and eye contact. So I hope you guys do check this out. I was like, I don't think y'all want to borrow my books. I'd be having too many notes, but definitely check out my article that I'm gonna write about this book. That's gonna be on my website, serenacastillo.org. You can go on my Instagram, Serena Castillo Edits. All that good stuff will be there.
Instagram __PATTBOOGZ.
Make sure you follow me on Instagram and Twitter. It's Read the Host. Make sure you follow the Wonderful Shows page on Instagram and Twitter. It's TNTK Show. As always, thank you for watching the show.
And that's all you need to know.
Bye, guys.
Did I say that right?
Yes, you did, Pat.